I am having a secret affair with a married church pastor. I feel guilty and angry at myself for everything. And I am blaming myself for being a homewrecker. It also really hurts me that I am close with his family, his wife and child. But don't judge me too quickly. Because this is not all my fault. At some point in this secret relationship, I even broke up with him because I was feeling so bad. But the next day, he came to me and begged me to take him back. And I did. I am a young undergraduate student, and he is about 20 years older than me. Keep in mind that he was my first everything. He was my first serious relationship, the person I lost my virginity to, and he was also my first love. Or maybe it is not love, I don't know. Either way, I am crazy about this man. This was how it started. I attended this church for many years. So, one day, I decided to start taking Bible school classes. We had different classes, like faith class, evangelism class, and those classes were taken by junior pastors of the church. During one of the classes, I saw this young pastor for the first time. Before that day, I did not know anything about him. I had not met him, or seen him before. From the moment I saw him, I was drawn to him. There was something about his presence that drew me in, something magnetic that I couldn't ignore. He looked perfect. Tall, handsome, and he had these honey brown eyes and perfect smile that got me every time. But I did not know if he was married or if he had children. So I was just shy around him, and observing him. I was so confused, because I had no business being in this kind of situation. Having a crush on my pastor in Bible school. This was not why I came for Bible classes. What's going on? I mean, you are trying to grow spiritually, you are trying to better yourself, and then this kind of thing is happening. But I tried to keep the entire situation and everything that was going on to myself. I eventually found out that he was married, his wife was so pretty, and they have a child together. I was heartbroken. Now that I knew he was married, it felt wrong to even think about him in that way. But knowing about his marriage did not make me lose interest. However, the feelings I had for him were not that strong, so I did not feel any need to act on those feelings, or do anything crazy, like tell him about it. But even though it wasn't that serious, I still admired him. Whenever I saw him, I would find myself smiling without reason, and feeling shy. Sometimes, I would even dream about him. It was nothing crazy, just normal regular dreams, like he was talking to me, and we were spending time together. It's like when you have a crush on someone, you are not really thinking straight. You just want to be near them. You want to talk to them as much as you can. And you just want to be in their presence. But then, one day, everything changed. Before our Bible class started, I came very early, and other members had not arrived. The two of us were the only ones around. While we were waiting for other members to arrive, we got talking. We talked about my studies and his ministry. He was very fun to talk to, and it felt as if we had known each other for years. As we talked, I felt very comfortable with him, and before I knew it, I was already telling him about my feelings. I told him how I could not stop thinking about him, and how confused I felt about it all. I hoped he could help me pray about it, since he was my Bible teacher. He was surprised and remained silent for a while. When he finally spoke, he told me that I should not have shared my feelings with him, that it was not proper. I felt embarrassed and wished I could take back my words. When I asked him why he didn't want me to tell him about it, he confessed that it was because he too was attracted to me, and he was hoping that the feelings would fade on their own after the Bible school came to an end. At that moment, the other members started to arrive for the Bible school class, so we had to end the discussion. But even though our conversation was cut short, the seed had already been planted. We had crossed a line that could not be uncrossed. From that day on, our relationship changed. He started avoiding me during Bible school and Sunday services. He would not even look in my direction or say hi to me. Days turned into weeks, and he continued to avoid me. I tried to focus on my studies and my spiritual growth, but I couldn't stop thinking about him. The harder I tried to forget, the more I remembered him. I was sad and angry at myself for telling him about it. One Sunday, after another service where he had ignored me, I couldn't take it anymore. I texted him and told him that I was sorry for bringing up the issue. I apologized for telling him about my feelings for him, and I begged him not to judge me. To my surprise, he called me immediately, assuring me that it was okay, and that such feelings were natural. He told me not to worry about it, because stuffs like that happen. He said I should not feel condemned, because I was bold and honest enough to talk about my feelings. He was very kind and understanding, and it made me like him even more. While we were still speaking on the phone, a question came to my mind that I should have never asked. But I did. I asked him, "You said you were also attracted to me. For how long have you been feeling like this about me?" I wanted to know. He did not want to talk at first, but later he opened up to me that he started looking at me the very first day I came to his class. He said it was when he asked every member of the Bible school class to introduce themselves. Ever since I stood up that day, he took interest in me. I was like, no way. So you have been looking at me for about 3 months now? When he told me that, my feelings for him grew even stronger. I started to feel more crazy about him. Knowing that he felt the same way for me as I did for him made my feelings even stronger. We should have just hung up and ended the discussion right there, but we didn't. We kept talking for hours. The connection between us kept getting stronger, and the conversation started getting more personal. When it was time to finally say bye, I realized that my curiosity had gotten the better of me and my feelings for him had grown even more. After that day, we started talking more, both in person and over the phone. We were getting closer and getting to know each other more. He would check in on me regularly, and on my birthday, he surprised me with a very nice gift. His thoughtful gestures made me feel very special, and made me feel cherished in a way I had never felt before. But with every step we took, I felt more guilty. I knew he was married. I had met his wife, who was a beautiful, kind woman, and their adorable child. The more I got to know them, the more conflicted I became. I was betraying a family that had done nothing but welcome me with open arms. One particular evening, we were talking as usual, when I decided to ask him about his relationship with his wife. If he was spending so much time and energy on me, I wondered how things were going at home between him and his wife. That was when he opened up to me about the struggles in his marriage, and how the relationship between him and his wife was not going well. He said that after the birth of their newborn baby, his wife was going through a kind of depression known as postpartum depression. It happens to new mothers after giving birth, and he said that ever since his wife gave birth, she was always moody and sad. And sometimes, she was too tired to even speak with him. Their relationship was suffering from her depression, and he felt isolated and alone. He said it had been going on for about 6 months since the birth of their child. He mentioned that it was very hard for him, because it was the first time he was having to deal with such. His relationship with his wife was getting worse because his wife was adapting into her role as a mother, and most of the time they used to spend together was now being spent on the baby. And this made it hard for him and his wife to have any personal time together. I asked him to speak to his wife about it, but he said he had already spoken to her about it. His wife's response was that she couldn't give him attention like before, because she was busy with being a mother. The relationship problems with his wife at home made him sad and depressed. He told me that meeting me brought happiness back into his life, and that I made him feel alive again. He said that even though he was married to his wife, it was me he loved. I seriously believed that we were in love with each other, but I had my doubts. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe that our love was real and true. But deep down, I knew it wasn't that simple. He had responsibilities, a family that depended on him, and I was just a young woman caught up in something far bigger than I could handle. While I know this relationship is not a healthy one, I am completely in love with him, and I am unable to see past anything. I know that I am in a messed up relationship. Every time I think about ending the relationship, my heart stops me. I would say to myself, you love him. He loves you. That's all you need. I convinced myself that we were in love, even though I knew it was a complicated situation. Somehow, along the way, I convinced myself we were going to be together, or maybe even get married. I know it sounds stupid, but I love him. Or maybe it is not love. Either way, I am crazy about this guy, and he is the only person I have ever been completely serious about. At the same time, I couldn't ask him to leave his wife and family. It would have been too selfish on my part. I knew if he did, he would lose everything for me, and I was not sure if I could let him do that. These thoughts tormented me and tortured me every time while I was alone. Our relationship eventually crossed the line from emotional to physical. We tried to resist our desires at first, trying to keep our relationship purely emotional. But the more time we spent together, the harder it became. One night, we gave in. Our desires got the better of us. We met in secret, started kissing, and eventually our affair became sexual. I felt bad about it. The guilt and shame was too much for me, and for a while, we stopped talking to each other. I tried to stay away from him, but he always found a way to come back into my life, begging me to take him back. And I always did. I love him, or at least I thought I did. I would convince myself that our love was all that mattered, even though I knew it was wrong. On several occasions, I would start fights with him and try to stop talking to him, hoping that I might use that to end our relationship. But he never fights back. Instead, he would wait until I calmed down, then shower me with love and tenderness. He would send me gifts and write me sweet notes, telling me about how much he cared, how deeply he loved me, and how special I was to him. These acts of love made it hard for me to refuse him, and before I realized it, I would be back in his arms again. Keeping our affair a secret is stressful. I have grown closer with his family, and I feel guilty every time I see his wife and child, knowing I was betraying them. The stress of living a double life is beginning to have an effect on me. I am afraid that someday, someone might find out, and that our secret would be exposed. I love him, or at least I think I do. But the reality of our situation cannot be denied. He is married, with a family, and I am the other woman. No matter how much he tells me he loves me, deep down, I know that we could never be together without causing some form of pain or trouble. It hurts. I won't lie. I would write him harsh letters, and send him long chats telling him that we should end this relationship and that I never want to hear from him again. No more physical contact, and no more talking. But every time I tried to end things, he would find a way to worm his way back into my life. His words were always so convincing, and his presence so comforting that I could not reject him. He always has a way of coming back into my life. Why is he so selfish? Why won't he leave me alone? Why does he have to come running back to me every time? I don't understand him. I don't understand men. I question myself every time. Is this really love, or just infatuation? Can I ever unlove him? How did I get myself into this mess? I am confused and I feel ashamed, but I am unable to see a way out. The more I tried to make sense of my feelings, the more tangled up I became. I never expected my life to become so entangled, to fall so deeply for someone I could never truly have. I am asking for help on how to deal with this complicated situation. I am still dating him, but I am very confused. I know that this is a strange relationship, and it might have consequences. But I don't know what to do. How do you unlove someone you are in love with? And how do you end this kind of relationship completely? If anyone out there has been through something like this, please, share your experiences. I need your help to find a way to get out of this complicated situation.
Do you know what happens when you don't subscribe to a channel you enjoy? Well, let me spin you a creepy tale that might just make you think twice. Imagine it's a quiet night and you're nestled comfortably in your bed, lost in a world of dreams. Outside your window, the moon is a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas, and the world is at peace. However, in the shadows, a tiny creature is on the move. A spider, as small as a grain of sand, begins its stealthy journey towards you. You remain oblivious, your breath steady, your eyelids flickering as you dream. The spider, persistent, crawls up the leg of your bed, onto your blanket, and then it begins to ascend you. Up your arm, it crawls, then across your chest, its 8 tiny legs moving with eerie determination. Then, in a move that would make anyone's skin crawl, it ventures into your mouth, ears, and nose. All this while you remain blissfully unaware. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? This creepy tale isn't just a product of a fevered imagination. It's a metaphorical representation of what happens when you don't subscribe to channels you enjoy. You miss out on the content you love, and it's as though tiny spiders of missed opportunities crawl all over you. So don't let this be your reality. Don't let the spiders of missed content take over. Hit that subscribe button now, and keep those metaphorical spiders at bay. Remember, subscribing is your shield against missing out on content you enjoy. So don't wait. Take action now. Subscribe and ensure you're always in the loop. Keep the spiders of missed opportunities away and enjoy the content you love. Stay safe, stay informed, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Your future self will thank you.